UFC Vegas 119. My name is Young Pasty, and I am here today to give you a pick and a prediction for every single fight on the card. Back at the Apex once again, and this is the week that we have a good week at the Apex because it's been killing us lately. The Apex has been killing us, so we're flipping the script this week, and we're going to have a good week here in the Apex. And I said this before. I think the UFC is cutting costs because they had to spend so much money at UFC Freedom 250, which we'll talk about here in a minute. I mean, like, it's been 4 or 5 straight Apex cards. So, obviously it's cheaper to do an event there than at the White House or any other place in the country because they own that place and they can actually make money, decent money there. I mean, not that they don't make money at other places, but he's probably, the UFC, Dana, they're probably eating a lot of costs from that UFC Freedom 250 event. Now, let's get to business here. We got to recap last week. UFC Freedom 250, pulling the results up here right now. 4-3 on the picks. Not the best, not going to lie. Nobody was going to see, no one really predicted the Justin Gaethje upset. Not a lot of people did. And it's crazy to see Topuria kind of break and fold like that. End up giving up. Not continuing. That's thrown in the white flag, bro. Anywho. And then secondly, Chama. My boy Alex Pereira up there. Doesn't come through for us as a hobby. Loses. Who's also up on the wall. Who I'm not taking down, by the way. Okay? That's my boy. But just unfortunate. So, as I'm watching these fights here, okay, first 4, we're doing great, having a good time, and then the last 3 to end the night suck. So, yeah, 4-3 in the picks. And we move into this week for UFC Vegas 119. Actually, some sleeper fights that are really, really good. Some squash matches, as you'll see throughout the predictions video here. And let's get to it, guys, okay? We'll start with the main event. But actually, before we get started, by the way, I'm going to start doing these videos like we did last week, okay? Not doing the quick picks videos anymore. We're just going to go through the card, every single fight, however long it takes, and then move on to the next one. So, first fight. Well, first fight that we're breaking down, the main event of the evening, we have Manel Kape taking on Kyoji Horiguchi. Odds on the fight, minus 162 for Manel Kape, plus 136 for Horiguchi. My pick for the fight, I'm going with Manel Kape. I think he can avoid the takedowns and the wrestling of Horiguchi and honestly style him on the feet, man. Horiguchi, great fighter, okay? In different organizations, in the UFC, okay? And he's passed his tests in his second stint here to get to the high-ranked Manel Kape, and Manel Kape's probably pissed, right? He's been begging for a title fight for the last few fights, actually, and they're not giving it to him. But I think Horiguchi is outmatched in the striking, man. Manel has really great movement. The explosiveness, dynamic striking, I think that's going to win him the fight. And, the cardio, I think he can go 5 rounds if needed, right? One thing that we need to point out and outline, Horiguchi broke his hand in the last fight in February, right? It's June now. What's that? March, April, May, June. 4 months to recover from a broken hand and then come into a fist fight. I mean, his best path to victory is probably going to be a takedown over Kape and grappling. And, that's not necessarily Kape's weakness, right? Like, Kape's only been taken down by the best grapplers in flyweight. Mukayev, Pantoja. So I don't. When it comes to takedowns and grappling, it may be a factor, but I don't see it as just like a complete domination for Kyoji throughout the whole fight. Manel Kape is either going to get back up from the takedowns or style him on the feet. So maybe a takedown or 2 for Kyoji. Okay, I'll give him that. But ultimately, how I see this fight playing out is Manel Kape just striking from the outside. Movement. Kyoji's going to be missing and whiffing a lot. Manel Kape is going to pick him apart from the outside, do the little dance around the octagon, and ultimately win the fight. I think he might even get a late KO, 4th or 5th round, because, man, I don't know if you've seen it. Manel Kape, he can accumulate damage. And then he can smell blood in the water. Once, like the Bruno Silva fight, for example, the one I just most recently watched. Man, once he saw that Bruno Silva didn't have it in him, he went in there and finished the fight. He's been finishing fights. That's the difference. Actually, not the difference, because Kyoji's finishing the fights too. But I think the difference here is Manel Kape's been fighting the UFC, right? He's been at the top. He's been fighting at the top. His losses aren't anything to really kind of give him grief about. Mokaev, who's one of the best grapplers. Pantoja, same thing, who was a former champ, longtime champ. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Manel Kape. I'm going to take him by KO, and that's my official pick for the main event. Let's freaking go. Let me take a little sip of water, and we'll go to the co-main. I think this is the co-main. Supposedly. We'll see. I'm probably wrong, but anyway. We have Ion Cutelava taking on Navajo Stirling. Odds on this fight: plus 260 for Ion and minus 325 for Stirling. Okay, that sounds about right. That's what he's usually at. My pick for the fight: I am going with Navajo Stirling. I mean, he should be able to outstrike Cutelava. The biggest narrative in this fight, and then honestly every Stirling fight up to this point, is he cannot get taken down. To this point, his takedown defense has been pretty solid. People have a tough time getting him down, and if he does get taken down, he kind of just pops right back up. And he honestly think he has a striking advantage over Cutelava. He's quicker, his movement's more fluid, I think he's more powerful. But, however, Cutelava, man, this guy has grit, he has will, he has heart, and that's stuff you can't teach. It's Navajo Stirling have that stuff. I don't know. We've never seen him really face major adversity in the fights, and we have seen Ion Cutelava do that and then come through and get wins. And honestly, Cutelava's counted out a lot, and he's cashing as an underdog a lot. And this is the number he usually kind of cashes around. I was at that plus 200 kind of number. So. But I like what I've seen recently from Stirling, man. He's been fighting frequently, making improvements on his game. I think the takedowns aren't going to be a threat. I think he's going to be able to withstand them. I think he should take this home. Okay, as long as he doesn't get taken down in the center of the octagon, right? That would be awful. I think that he wins this, and I think that he can honestly crack Ion Cutelava, find a knockout in the 2nd or 3rd round. So I'm taking Navajo Stirling, taking him by KO, and that's my official pick for the co-main event. Let's go. Moving on to the next fight. This is a good one, guys. This is a pretty good one. Okay, we got Andre Fili taking on Vinicius Oliveira. Okay, Vinicius moving up to featherweight. Odds in the fight: plus 230 for Fili, minus 285 for Oliveira. My pick for the fight: I'm going with Andre Fili. Again, this is Oliveira's first fight at featherweight, and they're giving him a decent challenge in Andre Fili here. I mean, he's just cutting too much weight at bantamweight, so hence move up to the next weight class. Now, the reason I'm picking Fili is because of history, okay? History repeats itself. Have you guys seen this guy's record in the last 7 years? Win-loss, 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 win-loss. The last 7 years. Okay, he's coming off an L versus Jose Delgado. What the fuck?
Live from
Alexa, stop. What the fuck was that? Anywho, history has repeated itself. Fili has been win-lose, 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 win-lose for the last 7 years. Coming off that L versus Jose Delgado split decision where, I mean, he showed that he's still game. Man, a lot of people counted him out in that fight, including me. I thought he was just going to get ran through by Delgado. And the boxing, the striking looked crisp. He was able to actually throw some heavy shots that landed on Delgado. And he took all the heavy shots coming from Delgado's way, and they're heavy shots, man. They're powerful. And Fili, like, has known to be in the past a little bit chinny, right? A little bit chinny. People have found the KO shot quite frequently, let's just say that. But in this particular fight, he's the true featherweight. He's longer. He's taller than Oliveira. Now, when it comes to resumes and level of competition, I mean, Vinicius Oliveira has a good resume, man. He's fought some pretty good guys. And it won mostly all of them except that fight versus Mario Bautista, man. I'm a fan of Oliveira, but, like, I'm always constantly picking against this guy. I have no idea why. There's something in me that tells him that he can't win the fight. And I think that Fili, with his experience, is going to beat Vinicius Oliveira. We saw Mario Bautista teach Vinicius Oliveira a vet lesson. However, Fili, right, is going to just primarily strike, bro. He's just going to primarily strike. Vinicius Oliveira gets, like, taken down. The wrestling and the grappling, that really can be a concern if people can get him down there on the mat, which Fili's not going to do. And Fili's sitting at an underdog tag. What was it again? Plus 230? I don't know. That's something I'm kind of considering because, or maybe even like fight goes distance or something. I don't know if Fili can necessarily finish Oliveira, but he can definitely make it fun. Definitely make it interesting. Yeah, my pick's Andre Fili. I'm going to have to, I'll take him by decision. Take him by decision here. And that's my official pick for the featured fight on the main card. Let's go. Moving on to the next one. This is a good one here, guys. Okay, so Hyder Amil taking on Christian Rodriguez. Odds on the fight for this one, they've been kind of steaming in Rodriguez's way. Minus 185 for Christian Rodriguez, plus 154 for Hyder Amil. For reference, what was it? June 15th here. Christian Rodriguez was minus 155. He's already ballooned up to minus 185. So in one day, 30 points. Okay. Now, my pick for the fight. I'm going with Christian Rodriguez. Now, to be quite honest, I'm pretty low on both of these guys right now, but I am less low on C-Rod. Prospect pillar. Wow. The prospect killer. I mean, he's known to lose to people older than him, right? Vets, but I don't really consider Hyder Amil a vet. He has a few fights in the UFC, and he's only just a tad bit older than Christian Rodriguez. But I think wrestling and takedowns are going to win Christian Rodriguez this fight. He can strike too, right? He can strike from the outside. He's pretty good at that. But I think the way for him to win this fight, wrestle, take down Hyder Amil. Okay, Hyder's going to swing big, bro. Okay, he's going to get taken down. Those T-Rex arms that he has, right? They're not doing him any favors, okay? He needs to get in on the inside. He needs to brawl. He needs to throw heavy shots and get close to you, right? Because his arm's not long enough. I just think that Christian Rodriguez is going to back him up, get him up to the fence, get a takedown, get him down on the ground, and work his way to a decision win. Submission? I don't know about that. I think Hyder Amil has better. I don't know, man. I'm looking back, like, he got taken down by Jamal Emmers in this last fight, bro. Like, a guy who's mostly known to strike. So it's clear to me that Christian Rodriguez is probably going to be able to get Hyder Amil down. And that should be his game plan. If it's not his game plan, then I just... this is a good matchup for Christian Rodriguez. If the wrestling and the takedowns are not the game plan, then I think that's stupid. I think it's stupid. You don't want to go in there and strike with the power puncher, even though he has those TRX arms and they're short. And you can strike from the outside. And you could win that way, but is that really the best way to win? The easiest way to win? No. Okay? C-Rod, take him down. You can. You've beaten grapplers and wrestlers. So I know you're good at it. So I need you to do the same. Okay? So Christian Rodriguez will take him by decision. That's my official pick for that fight. Moving on. All right. I think this is one of our first squash fests of the card. We got Andre Lima taking on Kevin Borjas. Minus 600 for Lima. Plus 440 for Borjas. Lima, this is the guy that got bit in the fight and then got a tattoo of it on his arm. That's pretty badass. My pick for the fight is Andre Lima. Again, like, this is a squash fest, but man, I think the odds are a little whack, bro. Like, minus 600 for Andre Lima. I just didn't think I would see the day. Minus 300 is what I thought I would see this around. Minus 600, man, is nuts. Like, Borjas is a decent striker. He can crack, but his defense is bad. Takedown defenses are not very good either. 1-4 in the UFC. His one lone win to Renato Rodriguez, that's not really aging well. Okay, that guy's not really that good. I think Lima's probably even the better striker too, but I think he's gonna get a takedown. I think he's gonna get it with ease. Within 20 seconds of him trying for a takedown, I think Andre Lima can get it, man. Okay? The grappling is just miles ahead of Borjas, in my opinion, man. So not only is the striking better, but I think the grappling's better too. Okay? Now, 1 year layoff for Andre Lima, I don't like that. I don't like that. It is something to mention here in this particular fight, but in my opinion, this should be light work for Andre Lima. I think he uses the striking to get to a takedown or maybe a club and sub kind of situation. So I think Lima by sub is super live, and that's what I'm rolling with for this fight, man. Andre Lima by submission. That's my official pick for this fight. And we'll move on to the next fight. A lot of M's I'm seeing here. 1 second, guys. All right. We got kickboxer Melsik Bagdasaryan taking on Murtsatoli Magomedov. 1 second. Oh, bitch. Okay. Murtsatoli Magomedov. Odds on the fight here. We got minus 310 for Magomedov, plus 250 for Bagdasaryan. My pick for the fight is going to be Magomedov. All right, they are feeding this Magomedov guy, okay, the OV, a guy who can grapple. They're feeding him a pure striker, okay? I think this is one-way traffic for Magomedov. I mean, now, Magomedov can strike too, and I don't think he's going to lean on that in this fight, man, okay? Melsik's a good kickboxer. He can strike, he can crack, he can hit hard, bro. And even though John Silva pieced him up in the last fight and made him look silly, right? Magomedov should not be striking with this guy, okay? I think he should probably just use the striking, work his way to a takedown, and then get a submission. Like, don't get cocky and try and strike with the kickboxer. I don't recommend it, even though you probably can. And even though you probably can end up on the right side of things, right? Where the grass is greener. I just don't get cocky, Magomedov. All right, you are an OV, okay? You can grapple. You're going up against a striker. 1 + 1 = 2. Take this fool down and get the submission, okay? I think you can get a rear naked choke super easy on this guy. So Magomedov by submission, that's my official pick for this one. I'm not going to go too deep into it. Those are my thoughts on it. I don't think that kickboxing is going to be enough for Melsik to beat Magomedov. So now, next fight. Some ladies going at it. How many ladies fights are on here? 1, 2, just 2. Bia Mesquita taking on Melissa Mullins. Odds on the fight. Oh, man, they're making this seem like another squash match. 2 minus 550 for Mesquita, plus 410 for Melissa Mullins. Man, I really would have maybe put Mesquita a little bit lower, considering Melissa Mullins isn't gosh awful, but man, minus 550. Anyway, pick for the fight is Bia Mesquita. This girl's rolling, man. 2 straight finishes, 2 straight stubs, making this look easy, bro. Now the competition's low level. Okay, I'll give her that, but it's just your first few fights in the UFC. Mullins is a slight step up. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for her, but I think she's going to continue to dominate and get a finish here, man. Right? She's training at ATT. Her striking's improving. Once she gets a takedown, I mean, she goes to work, man. Ground and pound to a submission. Like, her jiu-jitsu is world-class. Her top control is amazing. I think this is going to be complete domination, one-way traffic for Bia Mesquita. So, Bia by sub. Now, on the side of Melissa Mullins, I just don't really have too much to say, man. Okay, Miss Lazy Eye. Sorry to say it. But you're going to get ran through by Bia Mosquito, man. Woman. Like, you're coming off a loss versus Daria where you got outstruck. I think Bia Mosquito's striking is probably on the same level as Daria's, if not maybe just a little bit lower, which is probably better than yours. And then if you're going to let this girl take you down, and if you want to play jiu-jitsu with her, you're going to lose, bro. I mean, have you seen the accolades of Bia Mosquito? I'm not going to go through all of them. You guys just need to look it up yourself. But this girl is a jiu-jitsu queen, bro. Okay? Tons of wins, tons of accolades, tons of titles, or championships and whatnot in the jiu-jitsu realm and world of things. But we're in MMA here. Again, her striking is actually improving and getting a lot better. But once she gets the takedown, it's over. So Bia Mosquito by submission. That's my official pick for this fight. And we move on to the next one. We got Alan Nascimento taking on Mitch Raposo. This fight was supposed to happen a few months ago, but Mitch Raposo pulled out. I think he was sick or something. And now here we are again. And the odds are basically the same. Okay? Maybe a little bit in more favor of Mitch Raposo. But we got, Raposo at plus 164, Nascimento at minus 198. My pick for the fight is going to be Nascimento. Now, even after the Maxim win for Mitch Raposo, I still don't have faith in this guy, man. Okay, he's going up against a very talented grappler and submission ace. Okay? Like, Nascimento just beat Jafel Filo. Handled him. Like, that's a solid win in my opinion, even after seeing that loss we just saw to him. Raposo stuffing all the takedowns from Nascimento. I don't think that's likely, man. Now, if Raposo keeps it on the streak, if Raposo keeps it on the feet, is he really the better striker? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. Maybe in boxing. Striking overall, I don't know. Nascimento might be able to keep it close, so I don't know if that's necessarily true or no that Raposo's a better striker, but I do believe Nascimento will be able to get this to the mat. I think Mitch Raposo will be happy to engage, and we'll see him on his back, and Nascimento hold him down there. And submission? Maybe. That's what I predicted the first time. And you know what? I'll roll with it here again. Okay? Nascimento by sub. I think he gets the takedown. I think he works his way to a submission. Now, what type of submission? I'm actually thinking an arm triangle. I'm thinking something from the top there, where he's maybe in mount and then just works to he's punching down and then just works to an arm triangle or something like that. So, yeah, Nascimento by sub. That's my official pick for this fight. Let's go and move on to the next one. Man, they're making this seem like there's a lot of squash fests and squash matches on this card. Michael Aswell Jr. taking on Gaston Bolanos minus 425 for Aswell. Plus 330 for Bolanos. My pick for the fight is Michael Aswell Jr. Gaston Bolanos, man. Okay, like this guy can grapple. He can roll. All right, he's good on the mat. If Aswell's taken down, I don't know. This might cause him some issues with the jiu-jitsu of Bolanos, but is that going to happen? I don't think so, bro. Like, striking-wise, I think Aswell Jr. is going to accumulate damage on Bolanos. Find a knockout in probably the first or second round, bro. Like, we've seen Bolanos get backed up and pinned up against the fence. We've seen him get knocked out. He'll probably start shooting for desperate takedowns. Aswell will stuff him. He'll sprawl, push the head down into the mat. I think he pieces him up, guys. I think he pieces him up. I predicted Bolanos sole win in the UFC. And I just don't think he's the guy, guys. I don't. Aswell showed a great chin in the Riley fight, so if Bolanos does end up getting some good shots in, I think Aswell can push through it. I just think he's the better striker here. He can pour him more volume and will look better in the fight overall. Like, KO, first or second round. Bolanos can't take a hit too well. And I think Aswell, with the variety of shots that he throws, I think that he can, again, accumulate the damage, back Bolanos up against the fence, crack this guy, put him down and get the finish. So I'm taking Aswell. I'm taking him by KO over Gaston Bolanos. Bolanos does have a chance if he gets a takedown, but I'm not banking on the takedown. I'll say he's a takedown or bust in this fight. Bolanos is, and I'm not banking on the takedown or bust guy. So Aswell Jr. by KO. That's my official pick. Moving on. Next fight. Ladies again. Carol Rosa versus Luana Santos. I'm picking Luana Santos. She's an underdog here, guys. Plus 102 for Luana Santos. Minus 125 for Carol Rosa. They're giving Rosa probably the favor in the odds just due to her experience in the UFC. But I said this in the Andre Fili versus Vinicius Oliveira breakdown, okay? History repeats itself. Rosa's been win-lose since 2021. What happened in her last fight? She won. So you know what happens next, right? She loses. Okay? Now I need to look up what the exact fight was that she won. Nora Cornell, and that's not really anything to brag about, guys. But I like what... I saw what Perez did to Rosa. I didn't like it because I bet on Eileen Perez that night. And like Luana Santos should look to do the same, man. Get the takedown over Cara Rosa and ride out these rounds, bro. Like she's showing in her UFC fights that she can dominate if she gets a takedown. So why not do it in this fight? Even like that's what Eileen Perez did to win the fight. That's what Norma didn't really do that to Carol Rosa. The girl prior to that was kind of giving her some problems on the mat. I wouldn't say that she has a huge hole in her game in the grappling, but man, we saw Eileen Perez just use that to her advantage, and again, just ride out the win on the mat, bro. Like Rosa needs to keep this on the feet, keep this standing, and at distance. She can't let Luana Santos get close to her, bro. Santos, she has nice judo throws. If it gets to the fence, she could probably get Rosa to the mat over there. That's usually how she gets people down. They're just nice and they look good. I think I picked against Luana Santos last time, and I said all these awesome things about her, and they happened in the fight. And I'm just not doing that again. I'm not, okay? I got Santos by decision. I think it's going to be a 30-27. I think if she secures a takedown every round, Carol Rosa's not getting up. Okay? That's what happened in the Perez fight. And the Perez didn't sub Rosa. I don't think Luana Santos is. Okay, so Santos by decision. Okay? That's my official pick for the second ladies fight on this card. Let's go. Now, these last two fights, guys, super low level. They honestly should have been Dana White Contender Series fights, and in a sense they kind of are since we are at the Apex. So I did my best to research these fights because none of these guys are in the UFC at this point. They're all making their UFC debut. So and it's just very low level guys. Okay, so they could be volatile fights. Now we have Leon Shabazian taking on Levon Chokheli. Probably said that wrong. Odds on the fight: Levon is minus 310. Leon Shabazian is plus a 250. And yes, this is Edmund Shabazian's brother. My pick for the fight is not going to be him, though. I'm taking Levon Chokheli. Okay. Now, usually fade the people that were in Bellator making their first fight in the UFC. This Levon guy was a Bellator fighter. Okay. First fight in the UFC, took a fight in a different organization. Now he's here, right? When I say I do that, right? I fade the Bellator fighter. This is because they're making their first fight in the UFC against like a vet, like somebody that's had UFC fights. But as I just said, this is basically a Dana White Contender Series fights. Leon's only been in there once on Dana White Contender Series, and he lost to Phil Rowe, got knocked out. So, I mean, since then has looked okay, right? But man, Leon Shabazian, I just can't. I tried to pick this guy because I'm like, man, let me try and find a way to pick Edmund's brother. No, okay, no, I can't. Like some of his losses are god awful, bro. Ryan Loder, bum. Moses Murrieta, bum. Phil Rowe on Dana White Contender Series, like not bad, but not really a good loss, right? He's chinny and he relies on submissions, so he's kind of like a takedown or bust too. And I don't think Levon's getting subbed here, guys. Levon's a very good grappler and he can strike too. So, like if we get to the ground, I don't think Levon's getting subbed up. I think he can get back up or flip position. But I don't even think we get there. I think Levon's going to tear this guy's head off. Leon is chinny. All right, the way he gets dropped in these fights is not a good look, Leon Shabazian. So I'm taking Levon. I'm taking him by KO. That's my official pick for that fight. And we move on to the last fight of the video and the first fight of the night. All right, a couple more guys making their UFC debut. Shane Collins taking on Otari Tanziloni. Odds on the fight, Shane Collins is sitting at minus 180. Tanzilov taking he's sitting at plus 150. My pick for the fight, I'm taking Shane Collins. Like I've watched the tape and the fights for Otari, and like he's got some like very low volume, right? Spends a lot of time looking. Both of these guys are very, very unproven, okay? And if you look at go on Tapology and look at their fight history, they're fighting some people with awful records. Both of them, okay? But what I like about Shane Collins and why I'm picking him, like, he throws hard. He throws with intent. He puts combos together. A lot of Otari's game is just looking and throwing singular shots. Shane can also wrestle. He can grapple, too. And I think that can actually give him a lot of success in the fight, too. So, not just the striking, but the wrestling and the grappling. But I think he can just mix in both of them together. Pin Otari against the cage. Work to a takedown. Shoot, I'm sure you could even maybe find like a double leg, and if you don't get freaking kneed, it looks stupid in there. But again, another fight that should have been a Dana White Contender Series fight, and I'm going with the young, hungry Shane Collins. I think he gets a KO over Otari. Okay, the way that this guy he's throwing with intent, man. He's looking to knock your head off. Otari is just so hesitant, low volume, throwing singular shots, like not looking to steamroll through people like Shane Collins. Like Shane Collins believes in himself, man. Otari lost to Musasa on Dana White Contender Series, and I think people are giving a lot more credit in that fight than he should. Yes, he survived some big shots from him, right? But Musasa has shown and proven that he's he's athletic, like he's good, and he's powerful, right? He's just not very technical, and the skills of fighting still need to come to him to build his kind of fighting style, technique, and base, right? So I'm not saying Musasa's ass, but I'm saying that Musasa has a lot of work to do in his fighting career, and you lost to that kind of guy. All right, so Shane Collins. This dude had a long amateur career, so I like that, and I think that you guys should take a look at that too, because when you have a long amateur career and then finally decide to go pro, you have tons of fights under your belt, right? Tons of experience already coming into your pro career where it actually matters. So I'll take him, Shane Collins. Take him by KO, and that's my official pick for the last fight. Let's go. Yeah. If you made it this far, guys, thank you so much. That's the entire video. We went through every single fight. I gave you my pick. I gave you my prediction, why I'm picking each fighter. And, again, I just thank you so much for watching the video. If you could, for me, please click the subscribe button. I'm on the road to 500. All right, we're at 409 right now, 91 away. So if you could, please click that digital button for me. Secondly, my Patreon is absolutely free. The link's in the description. That's where I post all my bets when I place them. You can see them before the video comes out on Thursday for the bets video there, because the odds always sway in the opposite way, okay? When you see my bets, you want to get them while they're good, all right? That's called CLV, closed line value, all right? Being ahead of the odds. Now, let's have a good week this week for UFC Vegas 119. I said it in the intro, trying to flip the tide, or turn the tide, flip the script, because the Apex has not been good to us. So let's smack this week. Let's have a good week on the picks and the bets. And Pasty out. Let's go.